The FBI just dropped a bombshell, revealing the identities of the pilots involved in Kobe Bryant's fatal helicopter crash, and it's got a lot of people talking. For years, fans have questioned whether Kobe's death was really an accident or something more sinister. And now, with the FBI suggesting these pilots knew what was coming, those conspiracy theories aren't sounding so crazy anymore.
Accident is something that is unforeseen, unpredictable, if you will. Unfortunately, this wasn't.
Investigators are uncovering shocking new details. Let's break it all down. The investigation and findings. As the world mourned the loss of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and the 7 others who perished in the helicopter crash, investigators were meticulously working to understand exactly what had happened that foggy January morning. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, with assistance from the FBI and other agencies, spent over a year analyzing every aspect of the flight before releasing their final conclusions. On February 9, 2021, more than a year after the crash, the NTSB released their final report identifying the cause of the accident. Their conclusion was clear and definitive. The crash resulted from the pilot's decision to continue flight under Visual Flight Rules, VFR, into instrument meteorological conditions, IMC, which led to spatial disorientation and loss of control. In simpler terms, pilot Ara Zobayan flew into cloudy conditions where he could no longer see his surroundings clearly, became disoriented about which way was up, and subsequently lost control of the helicopter. The NTSB's findings included specific recommendations for enhanced pilot training, particularly simulator and scenario-based training for spatial disorientation. According to the AOPA, Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, these recommendations were aimed at preventing similar incidents in the future by better preparing pilots for the challenges of unexpected weather conditions. What makes this conclusion particularly significant is that Zobayan had actually received training in precisely this scenario. As mentioned earlier, his most recent flight review included training in inadvertent entry into instrument meteorological conditions and unusual attitude recovery. Yet in the critical moment, he did not follow that training. The NTSB also examined whether additional safety equipment might have prevented the crash. Surprisingly, they determined that a ground proximity warning system, which alerts pilots when they're approaching terrain, would likely not have helped in this situation. As the NTSB explained, when a pilot becomes spatially disoriented, they fundamentally lose their sense of orientation, making it difficult to respond appropriately to warnings. One of the most intriguing aspects of the NTSB's findings was their assessment of Zobayan's possible motivations for continuing the flight despite deteriorating weather conditions. They suggested that self-induced pressure may have played a role, the desire to complete the mission and satisfy his high-profile client. This psychological factor highlights the complex human elements that can influence decision-making in aviation, even among experienced professionals. The investigation also raised concerns about Island Express Helicopters, the company that operated the flight. The NTSB recommended improved safety management oversight for the company, suggesting that organizational factors may have contributed to the circumstances that led to the crash. Additionally, the NTSB recommended flight data monitoring during such flights, which would allow a flight department to identify concerning patterns or deviations before they result in accidents. The NTSB's frustration with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, was palpable in their report. The safety board noted that they had previously made similar recommendations following other incidents, but the FAA had not implemented them, citing cost concerns. This tension between safety recommendations and practical implementation highlights the ongoing challenges in aviation safety regulation. Another surprising revelation from the investigation was that the helicopter had originally been equipped with a cockpit voice recorder, which would have captured the pilot's communications and potentially provided valuable insights into the decision-making process during the flight. However, Island Express had removed this equipment, which was legal under current regulations. The NTSB expressed concern about this practice and suggested that regulations should be changed to require such recording equipment. The investigation also shed light on the specific sequence of events leading up to the crash. After encountering foggy conditions, Zobayan had communicated with air traffic control about his intention to climb above the cloud layer. He began a climbing left turn, but instead of continuing the climb to clear the clouds as planned, the helicopter began a descending left turn. This maneuver suggests that Zobayan had become disoriented and was no longer able to maintain control of the aircraft based on his instruments alone. The final moments of the flight saw the helicopter descending at over 4,000 feet per minute minute, about 45 miles per hour, in a steep left bank. The high-energy impact with the hillside left little chance of survival for anyone on board. These details, while difficult to contemplate, are important for understanding the sequence of events and the rapid deterioration of the situation once spatial disorientation set in. Throughout the investigation, the NTSB maintained a focus on learning from this tragedy to prevent future accidents. Their recommendations weren't about assigning blame, but rather identifying systemic improvements that could save lives. This approach is consistent with the NTSB's broader mission of improving transportation safety through independent investigation and data-driven recommendations. The tragedy that shocked the world. In the early hours of a foggy Sunday morning on January 26, 2020, basketball legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others boarded a Sikorsky S-76B helicopter for what should have been a routine flight from John Wayne Airport to Camarillo Airport. None of them would make it to their destination. The helicopter, registered as N-72EX, crashed into the hills of Calabasas, California, claiming the lives of all 9 individuals on board. This devastating accident sent shockwaves across the globe, triggering an immediate outpouring of grief and disbelief from fans, athletes, and celebrities alike. The news broke first on TMZ, sparking criticism for reporting before families could be officially notified, but the information spread like wildfire across social media platforms. In the days and weeks following this tragedy, numerous questions arose about what exactly happened that fateful morning. Who was flying the helicopter? Were there multiple pilots? What caused the crash? And perhaps most importantly, could it have been prevented? As the investigation unfolded, the roles of various agencies, including the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, came under scrutiny. Today, we're going to explore a topic that has generated significant attention and, unfortunately, misinformation: the FBI's involvement in identifying the pilots of Kobe Bryant's helicopter. Despite what some clickbait titles and conspiracy theories might suggest, the truth is far more straightforward, but no less important to understand. Let's begin by establishing the facts about who was actually piloting the helicopter. According to official reports and extensive investigation, the sole pilot of the helicopter was Ara Zobayan. Zobayan was 50 years old and had worked for Island Express Helicopters for approximately 10 years at the time of the accident. He was highly experienced, with an impressive 8,200 hours of total flight experience reported at his last medical application, including about 1,250 hours specifically in the S-76 helicopter model involved in the crash. Zobayan held an FAA commercial certificate with ratings for helicopter and instrument helicopter, along with an instructor certificate for flight, instrument, and ground instruction. His most recent FAA second-class medical certificate had been issued on July 3, 2019, with only a minor limitation noting that he must have glasses for near vision. Perhaps most relevant to the circumstances of the crash, Zobayan had undergone his most recent flight review on May 8, 2019, with Eurosafety International. This review included specific training in inadvertent entry into instrument meteorological conditions, IIMC, and unusual attitude recovery, precisely the challenging situation he would face that foggy January morning. Despite some rumors and conspiracy theories suggesting there might have been multiple pilots or questioning who was actually flying the helicopter, all official investigation reports and reputable news sources consistently identify Zobayan as the sole pilot. There is no credible evidence supporting the presence of any other pilots on the helicopter that day. Now let's address the role of the FBI in this investigation, as our title suggests some recent revelation about the pilots. The FBI did indeed assist in the investigation of the crash, but their role was primarily supportive rather than leading. An article from ABC News dated January 27, 2020, just one day after the crash, states, "The FBI will also be helping the NTSB in its investigation because it has evidence response teams. This is standard procedure for major aviation accidents, where multiple agencies collaborate to gather and analyze evidence." Another report from news-daily.com, dated July 12, 2020, elaborates. A growing investigation into the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others aboard a Sikorsky S-76B will include the FBI and focus primarily on weather conditions and potential mechanical issues. This further clarifies that the FBI's focus was on broader aspects of the crash like weather and mechanical issues, not specifically on investigating or revealing the identities of the pilots. In fact, according to the Los Angeles Times dated January 28, 2020, the FBI is helping with the probe, which is common procedure. The NTSB will be in Calabasas for several days, but a final determination determination of the cause of the crash will be made much later. The same article clarifies that the investigation will have to determine whether the pilot should have been flying in the weather, she said, although she stressed there is no criminal investigation. This indicates that from the very beginning, authorities were treating this as an accident investigation, not a criminal case that would require extensive FBI involvement in identifying or investigating the pilots. The immediate aftermath of the crash saw an unprecedented wave of public mourning. Fans gathered outside the Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, creating makeshift memorials adorned with flowers, jerseys, and heartfelt messages. The NBA postponed the scheduled Lakers game against the Clippers on January 28, 2020, marking the first such postponement since the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. Social media platforms were flooded with tributes from fans and fellow athletes, all struggling to process the sudden loss of a basketball icon who had meant so much to so many. When the Lakers finally played their first game after the crash on January 31, 2020, the team paid a moving tribute to Bryant. In an emotionally charged ceremony, all Lakers players were introduced as Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James delivered a powerful speech vowing to continue Bryant's legacy. These tributes highlighted not only Bryant's impact on basketball, but also his role as a father, with particular attention to the devastating loss of 13-year-old Gianna, who had been following in her father's footsteps as a promising young basketball player. As the initial shock began to subside, the focus shifted to understanding how this tragedy had occurred. The NTSB took the lead in the investigation, with the FBI providing support in collecting and analyzing evidence. On February 7, 2020, just 12 days after the crash, the NTSB released a preliminary report detailing their initial findings. This report highlighted the weather conditions at the time of the crash, particularly the fog that had blanketed the area, as a significant factor. But the full investigation would take much longer, with experts meticulously examining every aspect of the flight, from mechanical components to weather data to the pilot's decision-making process. During this time, the families of the victims began to take legal action. On February 24, 2020, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widow, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Island Express, the helicopter company, and the estate of pilot Ara Zobayan. The legal proceedings would eventually reveal some deeply troubling incidents related to the crash site. In a court deposition for her lawsuit against Los Angeles County, Vanessa Bryant shared the heartbreaking way she learned about the deaths of her husband and daughter. According to transcripts obtained by multiple outlets, she first heard of the tragedy when a family assistant knocked on their door. She told me that there was an accident and that there were 5 survivors, and I asked her if Gianna and Kobe were okay, and she said she wasn't sure, Vanessa recounted. As she tried to call Kobe, notifications started appearing on her phone. R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe. Unable to get information over the phone, she and her eldest daughter, Natalia, were given a ride to a Malibu police station by Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka. There, Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva confirmed the devastating news that Kobe and Gianna had died. During this meeting, Vanessa made a specific request of the sheriff. If you can't bring my husband and baby back, please make sure no one takes photographs of them. Please secure the area. She claimed the sheriff assured her that the area was secure. However, less than 2 months later, the Los Angeles Times broke the news that multiple LA County Sheriff's Department deputies had allegedly taken and shared close-up photos at the crash site containing images of the remains of Kobe and Gianna. This disturbing development would eventually lead to another lawsuit filed by Vanessa Bryant in September 2020 against the county and its sheriff's office. She argued that the deputies' alleged circulation of the photos caused severe emotional distress. According to the lawsuit, one deputy even allegedly shared photos showing the remains of Kobe to a bartender at a restaurant in Norwalk, California. As legal analyst Dina Dahl explained, not only do they have testimony from the bartender of what happened, but they have security footage that, in fact, shows him zooming in on the photo. Somebody at that bar filed a complaint with the sheriff's department, and that's how the LA Times and Vanessa Bryant came to know that this happened. The violation of privacy in such a tragic moment added another layer of pain for the families already dealing with unimaginable loss. This incident would eventually lead to legislative changes, with California Governor Gavin Newsom signing the Kobe Bryant Act in September 2020, making it illegal for first responders to share photos of deceased persons at crime scenes for non-official purposes. In the aftermath of any high-profile tragedy, especially one involving a beloved public figure like Kobe Bryant, it's unfortunately common for conspiracy theories to emerge. Conspiracy theories, public reaction, and lasting legacy. The helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others proved no exception to this pattern. Despite the thorough investigation by the NTSB and the clear findings of pilot error, numerous unfounded theories began circulating online, often exploiting the tragedy to promote various agendas. One of the most persistent conspiracy theories suggested that Bryant was killed to prevent him from testifying in a lawsuit. This claim, which has been thoroughly debunked, centered around a trademark dispute between Bryant and High-Tech Pharmaceuticals over the Black Mamba name. According to this theory, Bryant was suing a pharmaceutical company for supposedly lacing diet pills with opioids, which he was planning to expose. However, fact-checking by PolitiFact and other reputable sources shows this claim is entirely false. The actual lawsuit was a straightforward trademark dispute, not about opioids, and it had been terminated on January 2, 2020, weeks before the crash. The NTSB report makes no mention of this lawsuit, and there is no credible evidence connecting it to the accident. USA Today's fact check further clarified that the lawsuit was purely about trademark issues, not opioids, completely debunking the conspiracy theory's central claim. Another outlandish theory came from Dr. Umar Johnson, a self-described prince of Pan-Africanism and school psychologist. Johnson posted a 6-minute rant alleging that white supremacists, specifically the Illuminati, Bilderbergs, and Rothschilds, had murdered Bryant. He claimed the helicopter was sabotaged, not crashed due to fog, and linked it to the trademark lawsuit mentioned earlier. Johnson suggested the murder was ritualistically symbolic and compared it to Pearl Harbor, citing the ruthlessness of white supremacy. He even made the bizarre claim that assassins mistook the timing, intending to kill Bryant alone on Monday, but instead killing 9 people on Sunday. This rant was shared on social media platforms like X and Instagram, with Johnson ending it with a call for donations, suggesting financial motivation behind spreading such theories. The exploitation didn't stop there. An Argentine journalist, Eduardo Salamsad, from state-run public television, tweeted on January 27, 2020, Sikorsky S-76 helicopter, of Jewish surname, kills Kobe Bryant, implying a Jewish conspiracy behind the crash. This tweet, viewed thousands of times, was condemned by Argentina's Jewish political umbrella organization, DAIA. Sad later claimed his account was hacked, though it's unclear whether he or X removed the account. More recently, in October 2024, a new conspiracy theory emerged involving Sean Diddy Combs. An image of Bryant at Diddy's 50th birthday party in December 2019, a month before his death, resurfaced. Some internet users speculated it was a farewell party for Kobe, implying foreknowledge or involvement, with comments like, "I wonder if Kobe couldn't be blackmailed or threatened to expose Diddy. I no longer believe in coincidences." However, others quickly debunked this, pointing to the pilot's error as the established cause. These conspiracy theories share common characteristics. They lack credible evidence. They often promote prejudiced narratives or existing agendas, and they disrespect the memory of those who died by trivializing the tragedy. They also cause additional pain to the families of the victims, who are still grieving their losses. Stepping back from these unfounded theories, it's worth examining how fans and the broader public genuinely responded to the tragedy. The initial reaction was one of profound shock and disbelief. Many fans expressed immediate disbelief upon hearing the news, with comments like, "I can't believe it, dude. Kobe Bryant is dead. Man, this is awful news, and I can't even believe it. This doesn't even feel possible. What the f?" Appearing in online forums like Reddit, several hoped it was a hoax, with remarks such as, "Hopes it's fake, mentions TMZ usually legit." Beyond the initial shock, fans shared deeply personal stories of how Kobe had influenced their lives. Comments like, "I'm completely shook right now, grew up watching him," and "My fondest memory playing youth basketball was getting to play one-on-one with Kobe when he visited the army post I lived on in Korea as a kid. He was such a big part of my love for basketball growing up. This shit hits hard, even though I didn't know him," demonstrated the personal connection many felt with Bryant. Emotional responses included reports of strangers crying at gas stations and grown men weeping openly for a sports figure who had meant so much to them. Perhaps most touchingly, the tragedy brought together fans from rival teams in shared grief. Comments like, "From our Sixers, mourns loss, notes Gianna's death crying, and Celtics fan, calls it a loss, hopes Lakers win chip in honor," showed how Bryant's impact transcended team rivalries. One comment stated, "Jazz fan, love-hate with Kobe, respects greatness, hopes all okay, life precious," highlighting the universal respect Bryant had earned throughout his career. The public response to Kobe and Gianna's deaths crystallized into numerous formal and informal memorials. On February 24, 2020, a public memorial service titled A Celebration of Life was held at the Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, attended by over 20,000 people. The date, February 24, 20, was symbolic, representing Gianna's basketball jersey number, 2, Kobe's jersey number, 24, and the number of years Kobe spent as a Laker, 20. During this memorial, Vanessa Bryant delivered a moving eulogy for her husband and daughter. NBA legends Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal also spoke, with Jordan famously saying, "When Kobe Bryant Bryant died, a piece of me died. O'Neal shared memories of his complex but ultimately respectful relationship with Bryant, with whom he had won 3 NBA championships.
Kobe and I pushed one another to play some of the greatest basketball of all time, and I am proud that no other team has accomplished what the three-peat Lakers have done since Shaq and the Kobe Lakers did it. And yes, sometimes like immature kids, we argued, we fought, we bantered or insulted each other with offhanded remarks, our feud. But make no mistake, even when the folks thought we were on bad terms, when the cameras were turned off, he and I would throw a wink at each other and say, let's go whoop some ass.
In the years since the crash, Bryant's memory has been honored in numerous ways. The NBA renamed the All-Star Game MVP Award to the Kobe Bryant MVP Award. Physical tributes began with the unveiling of a statue of Kobe Bryant outside Crypto.com Arena on February 8, 2024. This first statue depicts Bryant in his number 8 jersey after his legendary 81-point game against the Toronto Raptors in 2006. A second statue, unveiled on August 2, 2024, honors both Kobe and Gianna, capturing a courtside moment from December 29, 2019. This statue emphasizes Kobe's role as a girl dad and includes a plaque reading, Gianna Bryant, inspirational icon for girls in sports, and Kobe Bryant, proud supporter of women in sports. As of May 2025, a third statue, planned to show Kobe in his Num 24 jersey, has not yet been unveiled. Reports from August 2024 indicated no plans for unveiling during the 2024-25 NBA season, suggesting it may occur in a future season. These physical memorials serve as permanent reminders of Bryant's legacy and impact on basketball and beyond. Beyond the tributes and memorials, Bryant's legacy lives on through the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, led by Vanessa Bryant. This organization continues Bryant's commitment to supporting underserved athletes and has expanded its efforts in the years following his death. According to recent reports, the foundation has been active in distributing aid during crises like wildfires in early 2025, carrying forward both Kobe and Gianna's commitment to community service. The 5th anniversary of the crash, marked on January 26, 2025, saw significant media coverage and public remembrance. Articles from outlets like Sporting News and The Sun provided comprehensive explanations of the crash, reflecting on its impact 5 years later. These pieces highlighted the tragedy's enduring legacy, with fans and media mourning the loss while celebrating Kobe's contributions to basketball. Social media platforms were again filled with tributes, though many recent posts in April and May 2025 focused on what would have been Gianna's 19th birthday on May 1, 2025. Posts highlighted Vanessa Bryant's emotional messages asking fans to #PlayGigi's Way, a tribute to Gianna's passion for basketball and the values she embodied. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.